After a 3-game road trip, back to back that included 3 wins, the Patriots are back at home, hosting a bad team by record. But I think they might be a lot better than people think. Welcome into Patriots Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Brett Alper. You can see that number right there, Patriots -7. They believe that they are going to beat up on the Cleveland Browns. But I think that this is a different type of game. We talked about going up against the Saints, how it was a trap game. We talked about going up against the Titans, how it was a trap game. Both those teams are not good. The Saints have a little bit of fight in them, but they're really not that great. Now, when you look to the Browns, that's where it's really like, this could be an actual trap game because their defense is one of the best in the NFL. The only problem with their team is that they have one of the worst offenses that we have seen. Yeah, you like that rhyme? You like that rhyme? Yeah, I do too. Real trap game for the Patriots, and we're going to break it all down. But first, against the Titans, the likes against the Titans, we had 1,207. I know that's a picture of the Saints, but we played the Saints a week before. The likes that we have in October right now, we are so close to our goal. So close. 525 likes away from hitting our goal from 26,000. So let me see that number increase. Let's hit that like record and go ahead, hit that thumbs up icon. So like I said before, how the Cleveland Browns are 2-5 on the season. The Browns record does not represent what this team is. I know they have Dillon Gabriel at quarterback. I know their offensive line isn't that great, but when you look at their defense, they have probably one of the best, if not the best defensive player maybe ever. I mean, if you look at what their season was, they should have beaten the Cincinnati Bengals week 1. If they didn't miss a field goal, that could be a win. They barely lost to the Minnesota Vikings. Carson Wentz somehow drove them on a game-winning touchdown. That's 2 wins right there. Yeah, they got blown out by the Ravens in Baltimore. They get blown out by the Lions in Detroit. But they beat the Packers 13-10. And that was when everybody thought that the Packers were one of the best teams in football. And then they beat the Dolphins 31-6. They could easily have 1, 2, 3. They could have 4 wins on their schedule right there. That's just the way it happens. It's just the way the NFL tumbles. But you can see they have competed in a lot of these ball games, and it's specifically because of their defense. Their defense is the specialty on this team. It's really freaking good. If you look at their defensive stats, like you're thinking a 2-5 team, this must be an easy game. Well, guess what? Yards per game, 256. That's it. That's the only thing that they allow. Passing yards, they're 3rd best in the NFL. You can't rush the ball against them. 82 yards, they're 4th. The points per game is top 15, and their 3rd down percentage is top 15. This team is good, guys. They are top 10, top 5 in most of the categories. You're going to have to deal with Mason Graham. You're going to have to deal with Myles Garrett. In the secondary, they have one of the best cornerbacks in football in Denzel Ward. But you could see what I talked about their defense. Well, their team is the biggest difference in talent in the NFL. You talk high and mighty about their defense and how good it is. Well, you talk about their offense, and it is a shell of itself compared to what it is on the other side of the football. When Dillon Gabriel, Joe Flacco starts as your quarterback to start the year, and you can't move the ball down the field, and you go to Dillon Gabriel, who is okay coming out of college. He's a rookie this year. He's all right. And he doesn't have that much people to throw to. He's throwing to Harold Fannin Jr., the rookie tight end. He's got David Njoku. But they also are just trying to use Quinshon Judkins the most of the time. If you saw the video I showed you about Travion Henderson, Quinshon Judkins is getting 82% of the snap shares that they have on the team. Now, the Patriots the defense has to take advantage of how bad this offense is. You have to get to the quarterback. You have to lock down their wide receivers. Is Jerry Jeudy going to be decent? Yeah, probably. But, I mean, that's the only wide receiver that you can really lock in at. And you know that Christian Gonzalez and Carlton Davis and Marcus Jones, he's just getting better and better and better. This defense is going to have to be great if they want to win this ball game. Also, you got to have the same storyline as you did last week. It's another revenge game for Mike Vrabel. When he took off the 2024 season, who did he go and coach with? Who was he a defensive assistant with? Well, he was a defensive assistant with the Cleveland Browns. He coached them pretty well. But they know that this is going to be a true challenge for them. Kevin Stefanski, who's the head coach of the Browns, he said this about Vrabel. It's going to be a great challenge. He is someone that I admire in this profession, how he goes about his business. You know how he was very impactful for us while he was here. While we borrowed him for a bit, but they're playing really good football, and they're talented on all three sides of the ball. They're well coached, so it's going to be a great challenge for our football team. I just hope that the Patriots, and we've seen how they handled after beating a great team like the Bills, going up against a one-win team against the New Orleans Saints, and they took over business. You know what you saw with a one-win team, and you played the Tennessee Titans, and you took care of business. You didn't feel like this was going to be a cakewalk game. You didn't feel like you were going into it already going to win the football game. That's what Mike Vrabel's culture has done to this team. It's not a cakewalk like the last one. You have to really take this game serious, and I think the Patriots can truly take advantage of that going into Sunday. I'll ask you guys, though, what you think. Is the Patriots going to win this one? Who you got? Give me your NEs down in the chat, or if you're a Cleveland fan tuning into the show, you can give a CLE down in the comments section. Coming up next, as we always do on our preview videos, we got the injury report and also the keys to victory. But before we go and do that, I got to tell you about our sponsor of today's show, and that is Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every single day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this year on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. You know Prize Picks is simple to play. You just pick more or less than 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. You can now follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app, and you can copy their lineups in one click, whether it's a friend, a celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you like I like producer Moose's picks sometimes. Hit the follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab on Prize Picks. I have a lineup for this weekend's game, and I think Drake Maye's going to keep going off. Give me the more on passing yards. And the Patriots, they've yet to allow a 50-yard rusher. Give me the less on Quinshon Judkins. And I'm just going to keep riding it out every single week. Stephon Diggs, the more on rushing or receiving touchdowns. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. All right, getting back to business here. The Patriots, you got some good news on the injury report, and you also got some bad news on the injury report. The good news is Jalen Hawkins, who's been dealing with a hamstring injury and also just been hurt the last couple of weeks, he was a full participant in practice. The bad news is you get one safety back and you lose another safety. Craig Woodson, who has been a key part of this Patriots secondary, he was did not practice with an ankle injury. Harold Landry has also been dealing with that. He's limited. Christian Barmore usually doesn't practice fully on Wednesdays at all. Stephon Diggs dealing with the same chest injury. But when you look at the Cleveland Browns, I look at some of the players who did not practice, and you have Huntington with a concussion, one of the defensive tackles, and then Jerry Jeudy. He didn't practice with a knee injury. Those are one of your main wide receivers that I've talked about. If Jerry Jeudy does not play, well, then Dylan Gabriel's not going to have anybody to throw to. And that's an advantage to the New England Patriots. So I hope everybody's healthy. I hope Craig Woodson can get to go. My first key to victory, and this is an obvious one. If you're not saying this is your one key to victory, then you haven't been watching football at all. And it's contained Myles Garrett. Contain one of the best players in football. I think everybody knows about the Hall of Fame. I think everybody knows that he is going to be a Hall of Famer at one point. I think we know how good Myles Garrett is. And the numbers, I wouldn't necessarily say they pop off the charts. He still has 25 tackles, which is insane. 10 tackles for loss. 5 sacks is kind of low end, but if you realize, they're double teaming him. He's still getting 27 pressures, but the PFF grade, if you look at every single player that is going in here that faces up against Myles Garrett, they're double teaming him. And he is third ranked highest among edge rushers in the NFL for PFF grade. And you know how some people have been kind of lining up against one side? Like they'll go up against Morgan Moses, or they'll just stay on one side of the field. Well, he does. He goes up against the left tackle, and he goes up against Will Campbell. This is the first true test for the rookie. He's been great so far, But now you're going up against a Hall of Fame defensive end, a Hall of Fame edge rusher, and you're going to have some work to do on that offensive line. Will Campbell, you got to contain Myles Garrett. Second key to victory, let them beat you in the air. I do not want to see Quinshon Judkins running all over the field. I have him on my fantasy team. I know how good Quinshon Judkins is. I know how good he is. We also kind of saw he was the other guy besides Travion Henderson. And if they're not running the ball, well, they have Dillon Gabriel. And Dillon Gabriel hasn't played many games because it started off with Joe Flacco. But if you look at the completion percentage, 60%. Drake Maye has like 73. 546 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. They're not letting him throw the ball deep. They are trying to be as conservative as possible to let that happen. But they also rely on the run game a ton. They rely on Quinshon Judkins to take most of the workload, and he scores most of the touchdowns. But the one thing about the Patriots is that they have one of the best, and I mean best, run games in the NFL. Quinshon Judkins, he has been very solid. And if you just want to pull that up, Moose, I can read them their stats. He's got 109 carries, 467 yards, and 5 touchdowns. He's averaging 4.3 yards per carry. But when you look at the Patriots, they don't let that happen to any single player on the field. They've gone up against really good running backs. And what has happened? Absolutely nothing. Against Ashton Jeanty, week 1, only 38. Devin Achane, 30 yards. Chuba Hubbard, less than 50. James Cook, less than 50. And James Cook, he was averaging like 90 yards a game going into that game against the Patriots. And Alvin Kamara only had 31 yards. They do not allow any type of runner. So good luck running up against Christian Barmore, Milton Williams, and, of course, Khyiris Tonga. My next one. Well, I said let them beat you in the air. You got to establish the run. You have to have a run game in this one. And I know last week it worked out. It really, really worked out for Rhamondre Stevenson. Against the Titans, he had 18 carries. It felt like he was back to his old self. 18 carries, 88 yards, and a touchdown. He's officially back, ladies and gentlemen. He's also not fumbling the football, which you can't let that happen. But I want to see the Patriots get a run game, because when you get a run game going, you can set up play action. If you get it open, it opens up the passing game for Drake Maye. And Drake Maye has already been playing very, very, very good in the passing game. But the one thing I love about the Josh McDaniels offense is that it happens a lot of play action. But the Patriots haven't been able to utilize play action because they have no run game. They've only run it 28% of the time this season. If you can establish play action and fake that handoff, throw over the seam to Hunter Henry, throw over the middle of the field to Stephon Diggs, it's only going to help. And when you do have play action, it works out. Drake Maye right now, he has like over 80% completion percentage on play action, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I want to see that happen more and more throughout the game. And we saw it against the Titans. If you can get that run game going, the play action just happens by itself. You see that you can call more plays for that. And the last one, and this was one for the last 3 games because you're playing a lot of cakewalk teams and you're playing a lot of teams with bad records. Do not fall into the trap. Don't fall into the trap. Don't let it happen. They're a decent team. They have a really good defense. Mike Vrabel said it himself on his press conference today. They are the best defense that we have gone up against. They're 2-5 for a reason. They don't know how to win football games. They're a good team, but they do not know how to win football games. You are now back at home at Gillette Stadium. Do not overlook this game because you're on a 4-game winning streak. Do not overlook it. It's going to be a big one, and we're going to be live for it. And I'm going to be excited for it, and I'm going to get hype as hell for it because it's a possibility of a 5-game winning streak. And if you want the Patriots to go on a 5-game winning streak, go ahead, hit that thumbs up icon, like the video. Before we get out of here, I got my score prediction just in my head. I didn't make it the lower third for you guys, but I think the Patriots are going to win this one 27-17. Go down in the comments also. Give me your score prediction. That's going to be it for the latest episode of Patriots Today. Got a big game for us on Sunday. We will be live at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. So hit that sub button. And as always, let's go Pats.